good evening, everyone, and welcome to the reveal of the allocations for season 13 of ALR, the F1 tiers, to be specific, since we also have a very big GT community, but nothing about that today, since we will reveal you the allocations for the different tiers for the F1 game. And I'm here together with co-admin Rigo. Please say hi, Rigo.
Hello.
And we're also here with main F1 helper Bloodwave. Say hi, Bloodwave.
Hello, everybody.
Very good. So how we're gonna do this is that we will run through like I said, the different tiers. We can already announce, first of all, that the sign up of this season went very well, and people all sent in their time trials in time. I hope they did, and otherwise they are reserves. And that we came to the conclusion that we can create 4 full-time tiers, which is, I think, equivalent to the last season. Correct me when I'm wrong, but
Yeah, the two
Yeah,
last
it is.
seasons.
okay. So and we have those 4 tiers. But before we go into those 4 tiers, we will also do the sprint league. To also first of all say a little bit about the dates. The calendar, the official calendar for season 13, will consist of 14 races and will be revealed a little bit later. So you can see that in a next video of us. And but we can already reveal that the season will start on the 27th of July for the Thursday tiers, and on the 30th of July for the Sunday tiers. And that sprint will start the first Tuesday afterwards, which will be the 1st of August. And the big change in this is, we will mention that again, I think, is that for the first time in AR history, our tier 1 will be driven on Sunday, and that will be together with tier 3, and tier 2 and tier 4 will be on Thursday.
Exactly. So
Yes,
Woohoo.
so
exciting.
I think that's enough of an introduction I can make for now. Maybe we'll come up some other things that we still already have to announce or already can announce. So yeah, let's go into the review of the sprint allocation. Sprint League will be quite the same this year so far. I'm coming back from a hiatus, so I'm not sure, to be honest, about the new safety car rule, or if we're gonna do that. Please, can someone say something about it?
I think we
It's-
will actually be trying to have safety car off this season for sprint.
Yeah. Okay.
No safety cars.
Okay. So yeah, that will be it. And still, the format of sprint I don't think it will actually very much differ or change.
I can just quickly say that for sprint this season there will be no safety cars. The
Okay.
reverse grids are gone for this season. This will be our standard sprint with 25% races and a one-shot qualifying to sort the grid
Yeah.
for that particular race. With
Yeah. And still with, of course, the, how do you call it? Not equal performance, realistic car performance.
realistic performance, yes.
Yeah. So allocations for that will come every week, of course, and yeah, I will have a hand in that, but I will also ask for some help for this. So yeah, full-time sprint drivers this year will be, and that would be like a nice graphic now, and it will say for full-time sprint drivers we will have Halinan, Adam Milsey, myself, Steba, Alupalu 22, Said Al-Falasi. I always say Said, so that's weird to say. Big Turns 25, Mini Turns 10, OG Moose King. We have our GOAT Mike Sands back. He was already back, but he is again back, sure. We need some on the Red Bull. DDK 201, Luke Buse, Joe Royal 15, Tap Shooter. We have EXC Robin, Andy Winters, Noose Squid, Jaguar Paul, Sven de Man, and Black Charizard. And reserves here for sprint will be Matej Alex, Marky, Benji9876, Jordy the First, Justaman, and Mighty Champ. And comms will be by one of our top tier favorites, comms persons. That, of course, will be HTTP Pyro. So I think a very interesting grid. I think main question also here would be, for you two, for you, Blood and Rigo, who do we expect the most in the Red Bull in the upcoming season?
In the Red Bull, I think this guy that's called SBoomer22 might have a Red Bull once or twice, maybe?
Yes.
You
I had
and
a Ferrari, though.
Mike, and it maybe all depends if Tap Shooter knows what button is the ERS and the DRS, so that could come in handy for him, but yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I think it just depends on if you want to sandbag any more than you already do. And we'll see if you get the Red Bull a couple of times this season. Hopefully you do, because that'll be an easy couple of wins for you, for sure.
Yeah, well, I had a Ferrari last season once because I fucked it up so much in round 1 that I had to have the Ferrari for round 2 according to the rules, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, sure, admin rules, blah blah blah." So,
admin privileges.
Yeah. So, final question for you, Blood, first. Who is a big championship contender? Because you have to, of course, look a little bit in who can be like very consistently in different kind of cars.
Yeah. So I think Joe, always a good shout. I mean, he's won 2 championships before, and even if he gets the worst car, which is, on this game I assume it's the AlphaTauri or the Williams, he knows what he's doing most of the time. He knows how to get that car into the points, and in sprint, consistent points is what matters. But I wouldn't count out Robin either, just because Robin he's also proven himself as a sprint champion, and we know he's quick, so I think those 2 are the ones to look out for.
I, on the other hand, feel like the key thing here is the improved traction of F123, and that one of the fastest on the grid is actually Staba 55.
Oh.
And what is he known for? Yes, he spins quite a lot, but now with the improved traction, he can't spin as much, which means he will finish high in almost every race. So yeah, he will be my shout for actually bringing sprint home this season. But I also want to mention
for you.
Big Turns 25. Keep an eye on him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair call though, because I think Staba can maybe become the new Joe Royal.
He very well might be.
Yeah.
He was always really good. He was always challenging Joe for wins, even last game, but then he would have his incidents, his spins.
His incidents.
Yeah, let's just call it incidents.
Very good. Okay, I think we can move on to tier 4 then.
Right then, so with tier 4, this is going to be held on Thursdays, and this is our lowest tier out of the 50% leagues that we run. Obviously a bit of a different format compared to Sprint being 2 25% races with 1 shot quali each. Our tier races are going to be a short qualifying with a 50% race ahead of it. So a little bit of a difference, but it's a bit of a longer format for our drivers to enjoy the races a bit more. So with tier 4 in particular, I'll run you through the drivers right now. For the seeded drivers, we have I Am Jordy, Andy Winters, Johnny, Bang Average Seb, OG Moose King, Joker Psycho, Shoen, Christ347, Will the Game, and Prezemu. Then for our unseeded drivers, we have the Dude 360, Mike Sands 2001, the GOAT himself. We have Samp Glove, Jordy the First, Wicked Prophet, Noof Squid, Wellesley 88, who I believe is new to F1 this time, and Fat Ban, Tap Shooter, and K-Star. And for comms for tier 4, we are going to have the one and only Lixin Jack himself, proven to be a great commentator as well. And the reserve driver for this tier is going to be BO2603. So with tier 4, it looks like most of the drivers here, we know from the past that they can show some pace at certain tracks, but at the end of the day with the championship, it just matters on who can show the most pace over the course of the entire season. So who would you guys pick out to show us that they have the most pace and can win the championship?
Well, for me, I would think to say that bang average Seb is always solid, and my eyes is upon him to perform and maybe even take it home. But looking across the tier, there's a lot of equal paced drivers here, so a lot of equal. So I'm actually looking at some of the new ones and maybe look to see if one of them could maybe show some extra pace that we haven't seen yet. So I don't know. I just want to say, tap shooter, let's go, my man. Bring it home.
And you, Boomer?
Let's pronounce schoen as a real Dutchman.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yes, that's not an issue. But I think I wanted to mention him because I think he can be a very good championship contender. He always showed that. He already showed that in the previous game, and I think him together with Prezemu are maybe the two that you can write down for good results. I'm just curious to the consistency. I can't recall that both show the consistency over a full season, but if they can pull that one up, then they could have a shot at the championship. And I would love that like one of the Geordies changes his name because we have now two Geordies here. Like, come on, please. But yeah, if Jack will come, so Jack will make something about it, and we are looking very much forward to all his screams in the next season.
Yeah, one of the two Jordis needs to figure it out.
Yep, for sure.
Take one for the team over
well,
here.
the Geordie the first was the first, so I don't think he should change his name.
Yeah.
But the other guy is the Geordie though, so you know.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Yeah, I guess they're just gonna have to play a game of rock paper scissors over it or something. We'll leave it to them to figure it out. Me, I'll have to agree with Booma here. I think how you said it, Booma, Schoen. Yeah, I think Schoen will.
Oh, wow,
see, I'm a Dutch person at heart. Okay, I can say I can say the words. But yeah, I've known him to be really quick always, even especially last season. He was pretty quick in tier 4. Was definitely challenging for wins on multiple tracks, so I believe that if he gets a clean run into this season, he could do very well.
Okay, so then let's take a deep dive into the tier 3 for this season that will be held on a Sunday again. And here for our seeded drivers, we have the one and only Joe Leary, 87, Swendeman, Luke Bose, S. Booma, Robin, Samet Turkman, Oswaldo Romeo, Titchiboom, Mileham, and Groenvogelgak. How about that pronunciation?
Well done.
And for our unseeded drivers, we have Arctic Squirrel, Major XTC, Pointers Tigers, Abmo, King Fades, Benny Buno, Black Charizard, Gazelle, Pasty, and Mighty Chump. And for comms, it very well might be me you get to be stuck with for this entirety of the season. So I'm sorry for that in advance, but here we are. And let's not forget about our reserves for this tier, which are Brussels Warrior, Claw, Marquee 5, and CI. And looking at this tier 3, I feel like it's quite a strong tier 3. What would you say, guys, here? What is your gut feeling here for tier 3? Speak freely.
I think I'm expecting a very nice title fight for tier 3. Honestly, looking at the drivers, like, we know that some of them can be rapid on their day, and then there's some who we expect less from, such as Pointers. But the drivers like Swen, we know him to be quick. Robin, of course, he's not quite up to speed on this game yet, but I'm sure he'll get there soon. Booma as well, same story for Mr. Admin here. Oswaldo,
Wow.
Samet, Benny, so many quick people in this tier that honestly, it's surprising to me that they made tier 3, but that just shows the caliber of the drivers that we have this season and how strong everybody is. And yeah, I'm expecting a hell of a lot from these drivers this season, and I hope they put on a good show for us.
Yeah, I hope too, because Rigo's gonna commentate this, and we want to prevent him from falling asleep. So, well, yeah, I think me and Robin are indeed a little bit in the same boat. So we will maybe come up to speed later in the season. I just always love to put the pressure on Sven because I know he can do it, and he showed it in sprint. And I think with the early pace he showed on this game, this will be one of his biggest opportunities to finally grab a 50% title, because I think he's one of the most successful drivers that has been here for, I think, almost 10 seasons now, that hasn't won yet so far. So pressure on him.
Are we hearing a little preseason jinx right now?
Yeah, sure. And I also think that Groene Vogelkart maybe can do very well in this one. It's just a very strong Dutch tier. Half of the top seeded tier is here Dutch, and it's very good they're all top seeded so that we don't have full Dutch teams.
Do we have 7 or 6 Dutch?
Yeah,
people
it's also
seeded?
Oswaldo.
Yeah,
And I think actually six of the seeded are Dutch.
that's amazing.
So we also have a verified unseeded list with Black Charizard still performing, even though he didn't look like to perform, but he performed in the end. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm looking forward to this. And ladies and gentlemen, please write it down. Titsy Boom and Arctic Squirrel as teammates.
Would
Who
you
would
look
have
at
thought?
that?
No coincidence.
Yeah, I was about to up them here if you almost forgot about them there. But the guy with the strongest pace on the preseason, O'Leary 87 here. I
Ooh.
think this might be his game, and I'm gonna just root for him this entirety of the season. So when you jump in on the streams and you hear me hyping and you see the camera is stuck on O'Leary's car, I'm sorry, because
You're gonna fangirl for O'Leary.
yeah, of course,
Who
always.
can blame you?
Oh, sure. It's good to know already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you will be at the back, so I don't have to
What?
look that. What? Yeah,
That's true.
Nah, you could do this. This is a really good tier, and like you said, Blood, I'm quite surprised myself to see a lot of these names just in tier 3 this season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we look forward to that, and let's jump into tier 2.
Now then, moving on to tier 2, this is our second fastest 50% tier here in ALR. Normally we would run tier 2 on the Sundays, but this time we're going to be running tier 2 on Thursdays. A bit of a swap with tier 1. However, tier 2 being the second quickest tier here in ALR, we expect to see a lot of quick drivers, and we can see that immediately in the seeded category. We have Big Bambino, followed by Italiano Rigo, admin here, quick driver. Then we have Erminator, Alapalo 22, Saeed Al-Falazi, Matei Alex, Zab DS, DDK 201, Jaguar Par, Rolla Rula. And then for the unseated drivers, we have Pyro, Owen Williams, Jime 99. Some Dutch person can help me with that. Slimmy Can, Jag Kings, Julioso, Halanan, Mini Turns, the Salieri, and Trems J. Then for the reserves, we have Prime Tomcat, the Naked Champ, Reese 17, and finally Jamie 05. And for comms this season, we are going to have Aman, my brother, commentator for this league. So yeah, we'll look forward to hearing his sexy voice over the tier 2 drivers battling it out on track.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Let's just keep talking about Aman's voice.
Yeah, I could go on for hours, but I don't think that's a good idea.
And if you have
I have it on a repeat, on a playback, as a podcast to listen to when I try to fall asleep.
As everyone should.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you haven't heard Aman's deep, sexy voice,
Well,
check in on tier 2 on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know where to find them.
Perfect.
Right, so Tier 2, this is probably, if I'm not mistaken, the most stacked Tier 2 that we have had till date. Just by looking at it, you can see that there are so many quick drivers, and as there are a few surprise drivers who have shown a bit more pace in the time trial eval as well as the evaluation races, who've fought their way up to Tier 2. So,
Yeah.
can we just have a bit of a word on the drivers who've managed to get their way up, and what do you think the switch was that made them perform at such a high level?
Well, I don't know what the switch actually was, but just seeing drivers as Zap, for example, in the seeded category in Tier 2.
Mm-hmm.
I know Zap from previous seasons as like a front runner though, but a front runner in the lower tiers. And it looks like he really made a step forward, and not only on his time trial times, but also I think in his evaluation race. I assume.
Yeah, he had very strong pace there.
Yeah, and of course, like we have our great Said, even in the seeded category of Tier 2. He is
Wow.
still very busy on his conquest to Tier 1. Well, maybe he will get there this season, this game, I mean. So yeah, he's gonna wrap up the podiums. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on him. He can be a dark horse for me this season.
Oh, a dark horse, yeah. Why not? Because if we know anything about Said is that he has the time to get the practice done.
Exactly.
So why not?
Oh, yeah.
So, but I'm looking at the likes of like Rola Rula here because he has been so solid in the preseason we have had here and in the TT times and the evals.
Mm-hmm.
So even though he had an unfortunate spin around there in the eval race, he showed that he's here to fight. So I'm actually going to say that Rola will bring the fight to Bambino as hard as he can, because of course Bambino is the obvious choice here for winning. But let's hope and to see that Rola can take the fight to him then. And other than that, I would just like to say that me and the Pyro will be struggling, so no laughters, please. And let's put some pressure into Erminator and Alu here, because they haven't been in the top positions here for a while, so it's time. Come on, lads.
Yeah, definitely a bit of pressure on them to perform. Been a while since we've seen them fighting at the
But
top.
to be fair, looking at the unseeded drivers here, this could be very close. Like, I know Julioso had a mental pace on the preseason here. Well, Halnan had a bit of an unfortunate spinner as well, but mini turns, rating tier 3 champion.
Mm-hmm.
Salier is in for a full time now. Owen is back. What could Pyro do when he learns how to drive with the wheel?
Exactly.
Yeah, will be a great time. So, but of course, you should check in and listen to Aman.
Yeah.
The highlight of the season.
Can I make a bet? Please,
Of course.
live here.
Okay, can
So,
I make a bet that yes,
Yeah,
I will spin the most in the tier?
Oh no, I wasn't going
Oh,
to bet on that
okay.
because that was a given for me. But
Okay.
the bet was is like if Bambino doesn't become champion, that I will do 3 shots of a liquor to choice in the last live stream with Aman.
Let's go.
I can do that.
All right, fair enough.
Sorry, I can do that.
You know, I'm so confident to say that Bambino will be champion here that I might just shave my head if he doesn't win it.
Oh!
Yeah.
Do you have an hair though?
He's gonna bottle it up now.
What's that supposed to mean? I have tons.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys stress me out, but I've not quite gone bald yet, so don't worry about me.
Ishtar hasn't signed up. Yeah, he asked me to.
Ishtar hasn't shown up in the allocations at all. So
yeah, but he wanted to know if Blood had any hair or not. So.
Oh, on his head. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's a story for another day.
Yes.
Can we take a trip to our fastest tier?
Yes, I think we can. Tier 1, here we have it. And Tier 1 is for the first time in history of ALR on the Sunday. We haven't even mentioned the starting times of all the races, but that's, of course, like always, 8 p.m. Greenwich time. So that's, UK GMT, And for Tier 1 this year, we have, first of all, the seeded category. We have, I think, Rainin 2-time or 3-time champion. Three-time. He won all the Tier 1 divisions on...
Hat-trick in F1.
And hat-trick. on the previous game, indeed, for former esporter, of course, Polhuis, because that's how you name him in Dutch. And he will be accompanied by BR4, Caesar. We can finally be in Tier 1 since we go to the Sunday now. Stan Rosema, El Trocker, Bloodwave, Boba Fett 25, Yarrow Ron 10, Joe Roll 15, and Stel Repas are the seeded drivers. And the unseeded make up as Lixit Jack, Adam Milsey, Dex Daxi, who is new, Typods Games, JFS Stegge, I think he's also new, Big Turns 25, Elite Spectre, Benji, Staber 55, and West London. Reserves for this tier will be Touchy Beard, Yusuf, Dylan, Donny Brav is also back. Who is also back, by the way, Hype Schools, who was a big driver in the sprint a couple of seasons ago. And Barak Q7 is also a previous champion, and they all are being watched under the careful eye of HTTP Pyro, our commentator for Tier 1. So, yeah, I think my question to you guys is, what would be a very stacked up lineup for Tier 1, since you have to choose drivers that are in the seeded category, can only team up with someone from the unseeded category. So what would be some unreal lineups that can go for the constructors?
Well, to start that off, I mean, you have the likes of drivers like BR4, Caesar, Yarlo, who are just showing insane pace on this game, and you could pair them up with practically anyone from unseeded, and they would have a good shout at the constructors. But specifically looking at unseeded, I think Jack has shown us a lot on this game, so has Millsy, and the JFS Stege, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
We know him to be very quick, so pair any of those guys up, and I think you have a hell of a team that's in it with a good shout for the constructors.
Like, I have a prediction to make here across the board here, and that is on our 14 race calendar, we will have minimum 10 different race winners for this tier this season.
Ooh, bold.
Because
Okay.
this is one of the most stacked tiers I've ever seen in ALR in my time here, and this is just a pure battle that is about to be happen here. So yeah, I'm here for it. I'm so excited to see these guys go head to head. So, but yeah. Bloodwave,
Oh,
are you here
Yeah.
for it?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm here for
Are
it.
you here for it?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm here for it. I'm excited to get my P15 in the championship. I'm looking so forward to it.
But if you guys had to pick one to win it, who can have the mental fortitude to for a 14 race calendar here to be there every week and just
So yeah, the mentally part is like, I still give Mitchell Polhuis, I give him an advantage since he knows how to like wrap up a title. And not in every season he had stiff competition, but I think BR4 was always already up there. But I will surely not think it's a runaway for Polhuis if he will do it.
yeah, we could just mention that BR4 was the runner-up. He has a hat trick in the runner-up for
the hat trick in runner-ups, and I think but it's just very great that we can have the possibility to create such a stacked tier 1, since a lot of the Thursday drivers were actually capable to drive on Sunday, and we have a couple of drivers that could only drive on the Sunday, making this very amazing tier 1 for this moment. And I'm looking forward to this, and it's unreal to see Staybein unseated, by the way. But that's besides the point. But
like
that says enough about
Staybein,
this.
what we said earlier for sprint, he's like the type of guy to win a race, then he DNFs twice, and then he wins again. Like he can't. Like if he just keeps it on track and finishes a race, he's usually on the podium. Like, and he's like far down on the unseeded list, so that tells you a lot about the other drivers in this tier. So, Like Boba Fett, you know me, Bloodwave.
Oh,
We-
Boba Fett.
Bro, we faced him off last season in Tier 2, and he was
Mhm.
amazing. He never
Yeah.
set a single foot wrong.
Yep.
And like the likes of Stan is bringing the pace here. Caesar, Tier 1, what can he do?
Mhm.
Oh, this is incredible.
I
And then
have a
Jorlo.
I have a bit of a controversial opinion here, but I'm going to stick with it. I believe the BR4 is going to win this championship this season. I think he's going to beat out
Oh.
Mitchell for the first. I believe it's his first time beating Mitchell, but I believe he will win the championship because we know him to be quick, but on this game he's just shown such unreal pace, and I don't think Mitchell is quite there yet in terms of pure raw pace with BR4. And if BR4 can just keep that up for the entirety of the season, not miss rounds, and just perform at that level every single round, I believe that he will have the upper hand over everybody else in this tier.
Bringing the glory to Sweden. I like it.
Yeah, because we're gonna, of course, have Swedish champions then, because we also have like Rigo taking the title on Tier 2 then, also Swedish
Yeah,
champion.
of course.
Yes.
Of course, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
it's great indeed. And I think if you want to beat Mitchell, you have to do it this season. So
Before he
and
gets up to
let's-
speed.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see what Trocker can do. He can also already surprise us in like I see him as like the guy that can be outright the fastest as at a very specific track. So and then he takes the win. That makes it maybe a little bit more excited again. So I'm looking forward.
I mean, he feels like also the kind of guy that just takes pole in every round.
Mhm.
Like, this is going to be amazing, and I'm so excited.
I'm not excited anymore.
I'm not looking forward.
Take me back to Tier 2, please.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a little bit it for this part of the allocations for season 13, which is technically also the 9th season since ALR came from a hiatus back in 2020. So thank you all for tuning in so far. The calendar will be revealed later. It will consist out of 14 rounds, and the top 5 tracks can already be seen in the announcement, just because we put a vote out for everyone in the Discord server, which will mean that Silverstone, Red Bull Ring, Interlagos, Catalunya, and Spa will all be on that calendar. And it was funny because there were a lot of people voting for either Vegas or Qatar, which was funny since there was not really a possibility that we are going to leave out new tracks on the first calendar of a new game, but they will also be in, and there will be some surprises since the rest of the tracks have been selected by your great team of helpers. And I also can say a little bit about that this season because we made it one specific rule. If you have questions about anything, or you can always approach one of the F1 tier helpers. We don't have any general helpers at the moment. We just divided it between GT7 and F1. And F1 helpers are Bloodwave, Urminator, Robin, Pyro, O'Leary, and Mitchell Polhuis. So they are accompanying me and Rigo on the mainly F1 part of the of next season.
Exactly
So that was everything I had to say. I don't know if you guys have something nice to close off with, but we will be back for another stream, of course, about the calendar, and we will likely be joined for that one by Urminator.
Mhm.
Yes, sir, the great German. And I just want to say that thank you for tuning in, and see you on the streams. See you out on track.
Finish it off. I love every single one of you, and let's have a fucking good season, guys.
Let's go.
That's good.
Oh man, I'm knackered.
Yeah.
Leave that in as well.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going
Sleep
good.
everyone. Ciao. Adios.
Ciao,
Okay,
amigo.
now you can cut it off.
All right.